right, here with Ebenezer Griffith, now improving to 8-0. Got his third stoppage tonight against Wayne Bourdeaux. And Ebenezer, man, you let out a lot of emotion stomping on the canvas after you got that stoppage, man. How did it feel to get a stoppage in Las Vegas?
Well, man, it's definitely a big moment. I think the reason why I was so emotional because I knew he was a good fighter, you know. All your homeboys will like hype you up and they'll be like, oh, boy, you gonna stop him, he's a bum. But in my heart, like, I knew he was a good fighter, you know. And so for me, I was like, no, I'm not sleeping on him, you know. And I had that all throughout training camp. I was like, I'm not sleeping on this dude, you know. And I think he was expecting me to come in sleeping on him, you know. But I knew he was a good fighter. He beat Terrell Adams, an 8-0 fighter, you know. He beat a fighter that was 4-0. So he's beat 2 undefeated fighters. I knew he wasn't like a bum, you know. So when I was in training camp, I prepped hard. And I was like, nah, I'm going to make a statement and show them that I'm not these other 8-0, these other 9-0 fighters out here. I'm not just a regular prospect, you know. Like, I am different. And I really do believe I showed that because he's gone in there with undefeated fighters, guys with records that are similar to me, and he's beat them. You know, and so for me to have that record and to stop him, I think that's definitely a massive statement, you know, because he's beat a guy that was 8-0. He's beat a guy that was 4-0. I was 7-0 coming into this, man. So I'm just hoping that they give him my respect after it, you know. I'm just hoping they give him my just due. That's all I can ask for.
He was durable and definitely punching with bad intentions all the way up until the end when you stopped him, man. Did you feel any of those shots early on? I mean, certainly feel them, but, you know, did anything affect you early in the fight at all? When he was punching with you at the same time, trying to catch you in the exchanges?
No, I see what you're saying. I don't think it wasn't the power, no. Honestly, I think it took me a little minute to get my bearings under me, you know. Obviously, like, first fight in Vegas, but it wasn't that. It was, bro, they had us, I know, like, fighters always make excuses, but, bro, they had us in the locker room, and they told us, okay, be ready at 5. They had me gloved up, warm, everything, because I was supposed to be on the not televised part.
Right.
So they had me warmed up and everything at 5 o'clock. So I was literally sitting there on the couch, fully sweating, gloved up and everything for an entire hour, just waiting. And like when I came out, man, like I had no rhythm. I was cold. I felt lethargic. And it really took me like 4 or 5 rounds to really get warmed up. And I feel like, you know, around like round 5 when I finally got warmed up, I was feigning and I was jabbing a lot more. But it took that time because, again, I was sitting on the couch. And, you know, the fans don't know this, but when you have TV, they're like, all right, let's go. And then they're like, all right, now wait. You know, it's like you're hurrying up to wait. It was very frustrating, but yeah, we got the job done.
Man, just for fans to know at home, who were some of the guys you worked with for this camp, and who are some of the names they might be familiar with that you've sparred with in the past since becoming a pro, and even before?
Yeah. I've sparred with a lot of different fighters, from Devin Haney. I've sparred with Brendan Adams, obviously. A lot of different guys. Tiger Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so all over the East Coast. All the guys from Cincinnati, Cleveland, Nashville. I sparred with Caleb Plant, you know, down there at Music City Boxing in Nashville. A lot of different fighters. So, in terms of like experience, man, I was ranked #1 fighter in the country. Fought in the Olympic trials. I beat a lot of the top prospects in the amateurs, you know, and so coming out of the amateurs, I felt so disrespected by boxing. I felt disrespected by the promoters, by the managers, that I wasn't getting what I felt like I deserved, you know. But also at the end of the day, like, I understand that if I'm not getting it, part of it could just be that I don't deserve it, you know. And so I had that sort of like conflicting mentality inside of my mind over the past few years. I'm like, I feel like I know I deserve it, but they're not giving it to me. So do I deserve it? You know, it's like that battle. Like sometimes you go to like, it's not like you're questioning yourself, but it's like you're questioning like, God, when are you going to give it to me? You know, and so when I signed with DMG Promotions, I really felt like it was divine timing, and it was just like it was God's timing. He was like, nah, son, I'm gonna give it to you now. You know, like you weren't ready for it before, but I'm gonna give it to you now. So now it's finally here, man, and it's all gas, no brakes. I'm coming for everything.
So was that part of the exhale you had after the stoppage, like the top ranks, the Golden Boys, etc.?
Yeah.
They overlooked you perhaps.
Yeah.
And now here you are fighting in Las Vegas, you get that stoppage, and was that part of what was pouring out of you in the ring afterwards, after the fight was stopped?
It was a very vindicating moment, Sean.
Yeah.
It was a very vindicating moment for sure.
Yeah. Just got to ask you before you get out of here, because I didn't realize you had sparred both Tiger and Devin. And
yeah.
They've been all over the headlines with each other over Tiger's obviously behind him in experience, right?
Yeah.
But talented fighter in his own right, great amateur background, like you were talking about with yourself too. What would you think of that matchup? Can Tiger hold his own with Devin Haney based on your experience?
He can hold his own for sure. He can hold his own. I don't know that he wins that fight, but he definitely holds his own. It'd be a good fight, man. But Devin Haney's undisputed for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, I think people are too quick to discredit champions. You know, like no, they're a champion for a reason. That's why even with like me, I would never call a champion trash, or I'll never be like, oh, he's a bad fighter. No, he's a champion. I'm not a champion. You know, I haven't done anything yet. And so I think for guys like Tiger Johnson, guys like myself, it's like, no, we have to give the champions their due respect while also being like, no, I'm coming for you, but I respect that you hold those titles, you know, because the titles, they don't mean nothing, you know, like everyone wants them to mean nothing, but they're titles for a reason, you know, they're sort of the glory you obtain from chasing greatness.
Yeah, and
I think fighters nowadays don't have enough of that, like, ambition. They don't have enough want for glory, you know, and like, obviously, like, all glory is fleeting. I understand that. That's something like my dad tells me all the time. He's like, all glory is fleeting, son. Meaning like, don't get too caught up in the hype. But at the same time though, it's like fighters nowadays don't want glory. You know, they just want money. Like I miss the old school fighters where it was like, no, I'm fighting you because I'm the baddest, you know what, on the planet, you know, and like I want the world to see that. Like that's the mentality I truly do have, man. And I feel like when I won, that just pulled out of me. It was like, no, like I'm coming, not obviously I want the money. Who doesn't? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and see right through that. Obviously I want the money, but I also want glory, you know, like I want the belts, man. I'm from the same city as Muhammad Ali, Louisville, Kentucky. I want the belts. I want that green belt, bro. You know,
the WBC.
Like yes, I want the
Carlos
WBC.
Adames
Yeah. You know, I fight at super welter. Not
Okay. Sorry, this one I think they put it at,
no, you're good.
60, or they listed it at.
But like I want that green belt. You know, yeah, like the super belt's cool. Like no, I have no problems with Zupa. But like for me, I grew up watching the WBC, man. Like bro, I grew up watching Oscar De La Hoya fight Floyd Mayweather, like him being in the ring on Leonard Ellerby's shoulders and like them having the green belt wrapped around him. I grew up watching that. I remember when Sean Porter, you know, he's commentating my fight when he fought Keith Thurman, you know, and like I remember going downstairs, it was on like broadcast TV, like regular Fox TV, and I watched it on a converter box, so one of those old like TVs, you know. I want those belts, you know, like the guys that I grew up watching. I want to have that same hardware they had because I looked up to them, you know, and I want to sort of achieve the same things they achieved.
What did you say to Sean after? I think I saw you reach over the top and say something to Sean. What did you say to him?
He told me, he said, you got all the skills. He said, you got all the skills. Work on your defense. That's what he told me. I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then I came back over and I told him, I was like, I promise you, I'm gonna get better. You'll see.
Yeah. And I hate to indulge in it. Well, I don't. That's what I'm asking. But because again, I haven't came across a lot of fighters who work with both of them, man. Just give me a quick analysis. You don't have to pick a winner or anything like that, but what would that fight look like in the ring at some point based on the skill sets you viewed with Tiger and Devin?
Honestly, I think it's just more seasoning, you know.
Yeah.
More seasoning with Devin. That's like the best illustration I could give. It's just more seasoning. It's like, okay, I'll give it to you in football terms. Drake May and Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's just a veteran. You know, he's just seen a lot more, and it's just when you put him on a fourth and one, he knows how to manage the clock. You know, it's 2-minute drill. He knows how to manage the clock. He knows that I can't take a sack here. I'll give up, you know, the throwing the ball out of bounds, but I can't take a sack here because, you know, the down distance or whatever. But it's like, I hate the term quarterbacky, but Devin, he's more quarterbacky, you know, in that sense.
No, I follow you, definitely. That's what people talk about when they say experience.
It's just seasoning, bro. You know, it's hard to communicate experience to the fans. Like I feel like sometimes, but it's like that little sprinkle, you know, little seasoning.
Yeah, yep. The little things that all add up.
Yeah, for sure.
In the IQ. And how much more seasoning do you feel you need? You got like, you know, I'm sure you'll be watching Xander and Boots in June. Some Fundora just fought a couple weeks ago. And how much more seasoning and what areas to get to that level and compete with those guys in this division?
I just need more fights.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I fought on Roy Jones Jr.'s card last year, and he told me after he said, you have all the skills, you know. He said, you have all of the skills, just get a few more fights. Because I know from like the guys that I've sparred, like how I've done those sparring sessions, you know, and I know for a fact I have the skills. Kind of like I was saying earlier with Devin Haney and Tiger Delante, it's just a little bit more seasoned, you know. And I'm looking forward to that Xander Boots fight. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I know you'll be watching intently, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so hope you'll be able to get back in the ring. You got your promoter situation now figured out.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, best of luck to you, Ebenezer, and congrats on the stoppage tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. I am the future of boxing, the savior of the fight game, the leader of the Renaissance. You can follow me on all social medias at Stuntman Official. See you guys soon.
Appreciate you, brother.